Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. This game changer transformation is about Ben Hutton, who is from Wichita, Kansas. Ben took over a family business, and when he took over, he said, well, I have to have all these goals, which are basically money goals and lifestyle goals, and I have this and I have this. And what he discovered, within 2 years, he had accomplished everything on his checklist, and he didn't feel especially excited about it. What Strategic Coach really got him in touch with is that what owning his business and growing his business is about not so much the measurements you achieve, that's just the scorecard, but what it is actually the kind of freedom that you gain. And the biggest freedom that you start off with in Coach is that your time gets freed up for you operating at a much higher level of exciting projects that are 10 times projects, and freedom of time for your own personal life so that you feel balanced and energized when you are working because it's not competing with your personal life. Once you have more freedom of time, you have more freedom of money, which leads to freedom of relationship, the people you work with, the people you attract, the kind of customers you have, the kind of clients, and everybody in your relationship universe gets better and better because of the freedom of time and money. And then your entrepreneurial company becomes about your purpose as an individual, and you've got an entrepreneurial company as a vehicle for personal change and self-transformation. So Ben is really clear that he had to make a fundamental change in his mindset about why he was a business owner. Here's the point I always say, it's a bit of a risk being a business owner because you're taking your life in your own hands. So there's no safety net. If your business fails, there's no safety net for it. And you can't get business unemployment insurance when the business fails. So the big thing about what we're talking about here is that not only do you have the business for achieving all your goals, but you actually have the business for enjoying your life. So once you've got a solid business and it's producing the results, then you use your success and achievement for actually making every day that you're working in your business more and more enjoyable and very, very happy and enjoyable for everybody who works with you and enjoyable for everybody that you work with out in the marketplace.
My name is Ben Hutton, and I am the CEO of Hutton. We are a building design and construction company based in Wichita, Kansas. It's a family business that my dad started when I was 11, and I started working there the next year when I was 12. And so I grew up there. I went to school at Kansas State for a construction science degree and then spent some time away from the family business in Colorado Springs for a few years and then rejoined and worked my way up through the ranks. So the first couple of years that I worked at the business, it was not really my choice to be there, and I did not enjoy that as much. But when I was a sophomore in high school is actually when I discovered that I had a love for it and really was excited about the future that I could see for it. Yeah, I've been lucky that I've been able to lead my business through a few different transformations, but probably the most impactful one for me came 2 years after I took over as president. So I took over in 2010 and things were going well. Our business was growing. I was doing all right. We had some of our best years, but 2 years in, I myself was starting to get worn out. I was wearing myself down. I was doing lots of things and doing them well, but not doing them greatly. And it's really at that point that I started learning about unique ability. Unique ability is the set of skills that I was made with, right? And so I believe that everybody's created with a different makeup, a different set of skills, and it's our job to discover those and then really maximize our use of those in the world for the betterment of everybody. And that's how together we can all thrive. And that's what gave me some courage to really redesign the management structure of my business around my skills as well as the skills of some others on my team. And that allows us really quite a breakthrough, right? And so we shifted to a structure that put people in places where they could thrive. And as a result, our business really thrived over the next couple of years after that. So a couple years before I actually took over the business as president, I had made the list of everything that I wanted to do, right? I had a certain set of goals that I wanted to grow the business to a certain size, and I wanted to hire a certain number of people, and I wanted to buy a big house and a fast car and all of the goals that you're supposed to have as an entrepreneur. And 2 years after I had taken over, I found myself checking off the last one of those goals, and it was a pretty hollow, empty feeling because I had discovered that I had really the wrong goals. And at the same time, that was very disheartening because I had, like I said, worn myself out trying to run this business. I was in a place where, my unique ability really is to see what's possible and lead others to it, right? So my skill set is taking in all sorts of information, making connections that others don't necessarily see about where the future of my business or the future of our industry is going, and then helping other people get there. But I was doing also all of the operations and day-to-day management of my business, and it was just draining me. So at that point, when I realized I had the wrong goals, I also realized that I was exhausted and I was ignoring lots of other things in my life that were important. I wasn't giving my best to my family or my faith or even myself. So it was a long journey through a fairly dark place for a little bit until I was able to come out the other side with really a much better outlook on life and what my skill set is, what I should be doing, and what my business should be for. I think really it's a tragedy that we don't talk about things like this as business leaders more. We feel like we have to be everything to everybody, and it's just not true. Nobody really expects that, and nobody can really do that over the long haul. So we need to be honest with ourselves about what our true skills are, and then let others help us where we're not great. It's really simple when you talk about it. It's hard in practice. As an entrepreneur, I have tons of ideas about what could be in my business. I am not good at organizing those or helping other people really understand what's in my head. And Strategic Coach gives me the tools to be able to do that and the time away to use those tools, frankly, right? It's easy to get caught in the whirlwind of our businesses when we're back in town, but when you get to step away, it's a special thing. So Dan talks a lot about building a self-managing company, right? And really you can't do that until you recognize that other people have lots of skills to do the things that you might think you need to do, and you release that to them and let them thrive in their own way. For me, I was able to get to a point where earlier this year, my company was in a spot where I didn't necessarily need to be there day to day. And I got the gift, really, of taking a 3-month sabbatical, right? So I got to spend 3 months with my kids or my wife together, or sometimes we'd send my kids to camp and wife and I went on a road trip, but I got to totally disconnect from my business and really connect with an even more important part of my life, with my family. That's a gift that Strategic Coach helped give me. There was lots of other work that went into that too, but yeah, I think most people probably come to this program thinking it's about business, but really it's not. For I think a lot of people here, it's about being able to have the whole life that you want to have, not just work. If you have a business just to have it and to work in it, then why do you have it, right? Really a business is a tool to allow you to do other things in the world, whether that's for yourself, for your family, or for your community. This is a great tool to help maximize the business so you can go do everything else you want to do. I've talked a little bit about the unique ability and how that played into the transformation that I went through and what my business has gone through. But there's really so much more to the program. I love a lot of different things about it. I love the quarterly day or two away from my business to really see things from a different perspective. I love the rhythm that we get from that quarterly time away, but also the structure that Strategic Coach provides.
So if you're an entrepreneur and you're feeling burned out, I've got one piece of advice for you. Stop doing that right now and get on a track and get in a structure and get in a process and get in a community. And that's what we've created here at Strategic Coach, where every quarter, not only are you gaining greater success that you can measure in terms of revenues and profits and productivity, but every quarter you feel that you're enjoying more and more meaning about the life and the enjoyment of the life that you are creating for the rest of your life. So if you would like to get a really fast but in-depth understanding of the community and what really happens in Strategic Coach and the kind of people are there, then just go to whonothow.coach.